Am I the asshole I might have ruined my parents' marriage with ASMR? Am I the asshole so I, 20m, listened to ASMR every night to sleep? My stepfather was having trouble sleeping, so I of course recommended he try ASMR. Well, he did, and my mother downed out and thought it was weird that he was sleeping to women whispering in his ear. They fight about it pretty often because she considers it strange and borderline cheating. I get where she's coming from and how it's weird if you don't know much about ASMR, but it's all wholesome ASMR that he watches. Like Gibby ASMR and stuff. I've tried to tell her that I told him about it and it's not sexual in any way, but she still argues about it. He's stopped, but she still brings it up, and I just can't help but think it's all my fault. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Your mother is being weird, and that's not your fault. By her logic, listening to music sung by women or watching movies with female actors could be borderline cheating, too. If your parents' marriage is that fragile that ASMR is breaking them apart, then their marriage wasn't that strong in the first place. So no, you don't ruin their marriage. Not the asshole. Borderline cheating? Is there a reason your mom is so insecure? What if you would listen to, let's say, music or audiobooks? Would listening to a woman singer, reader would also be borderline cheating? Not the asshole. Imagine being so insecure that you think your husband's listening to pre-recorded ASMR is cheating. Then again, there's people who think their partner's watching porn is, so. Not the asshole, but I will say, as a ASMR listener myself, there is a very large percentage of creators who are women making content aimed at a male-skewed audience. Obviously not all ASMR artists are that way, but as someone who has been listening for years, it is unavoidable when shifting through content. I know you said your stepdad listens to users like Gibby, who does really fun vids, but even just the first page of YouTube ASMR search already pulls up several personal attention videos aimed at men where the artist purposely speaks in a seductive tone. If mom caught him watching a few of those, I can understand why she'd be upset. It's not cheating, but it can verge into an emotional connection to the artist, the same way with OnlyFans creators. Seems like your mom is the asshole in this case. Loudly crying person shrugging light skin tone female sign. Am I the asshole for stealing a present from a child? Last week was my office holiday party with a white elephant gift exchange. The party invite was for employees and their significant others, so children were not specifically discouraged, but through conversations in the office it was clear that people were not bringing kids. One of my coworkers ended up bringing his 10-year-old daughter to the party. She is a regular around the office and he often brings her to work events, but at this party she was the only child. White Elephant is a game where everyone brings a wrapped gift and the first person chooses a present. The next person can either choose a new gift to open or steal a present that someone else has opened. If your gift is stolen, you can choose a new present or steal. During the gift exchange, which was light-hearted and had a mix of real, silly gifts, someone opened a small hand-carved and painted wooden dragon. My husband has played D&D his whole life, loves dragons, and this was right up his alley. We had both already taken our turns, but agreed that if either of our gifts were stolen we would go straight for that. Along comes the kid's turn. There were other kid-friendly gifts available, but she decided to steal the dragon. Several rounds went by and we debated whether it would be alright to steal the dragon if the opportunity came up. It would be fine according to the rules of the game, but since the kid had it, would that make it wrong? We ended up undecided, but leaning toward that it was all a game, especially since the kid had stolen the item from someone else. Eventually my husband's gift was stolen, so he had the chance to pick a new gift or steal. He made a joke about being the Grinch, and chose the dragon. The kid seemed disappointed, but picked another gift and the game went on. She ended up with a remote control Harry Potter wand that was actually pretty cool. After the exchange was over, she asked my husband if he would trade items. He said kindly but firmly that he was happy with his item and wanted to keep it. Later, I went to the bathroom and found her crying. I told my husband and we went to her father offering to give her the dragon since we didn't realize she was so upset. He said that it was a good lesson for her and she had actually talked enthusiastically about stealing gifts from people before the whole thing started. My husband has the dragon and is happy with it, but it is now a little tainted by guilt. The office seems to be split on the issue. Many people said that he should never have even considered stealing the item from her because she's a kid and might not have fully understood the game. We don't have children, so may be out of touch on this issue, but the more I think about it, the more I feel like she shouldn't really have been at the party in the first place. And her father shouldn't have allowed her to participate in the game if she couldn't understand the possibility of an item getting stolen. So I genuinely want to know, are we the assholes? Dad of the kid is a good parent for not taking the gift and using it as teaching lesson that you don't always get what you want in life. And also that people can be assholes, lol. Not the asshole. Mom here. 10 is plenty old to understand the rules. I'm sure that there were other adults who chose not to steal from her because she was a child. However, that doesn't teach her anything. Her father was spot on. She was old enough to understand the rules and to participate, although I agree she should not have been there, let alone played. Age where kids get excited about the thought of playing a game like that, and the only way they learn is by experiencing it themselves. This was an excellent learning moment for her. It's okay for a child to be disappointed. If they want to play a game with grown-ups, they have to abide by the rules and learn how to be a good sport. You guys did absolutely nothing wrong. And serious brownie points for the dad. Not the asshole. On the contrary, you would now destroy the life lesson this dad has imparted to the kid. No need to feel guilty. Those who advocate to not follow the rules of the game, because she's a kid, should take a minute to reflect on what they are actually saying. That kid stopped thinking about the dragon a while ago. I wouldn't overthink it. Nah, it's the nature of the game. Everyone will live lol. Listen to dad. He said she was excited by the prospect of stealing gifts from other people, and she did so. He doesn't think you should give it back and that she should learn this lesson. He knows his kid better than you do. Trust him, nah. Would I be the asshole if I throw all my mother-in-law's things out of my house after she moved herself in? My mother-in-law had previously moved in with us, and we had to kick her out due to her behavior. Then she moved in with her boyfriend and he kicked her out too. She had been staying with a friend temporarily but had to leave because the friend's daughter is coming home from college and needs her room back. I came home from work yesterday to find that mother-in-law had moved herself back into my house without permission from my wife or me. We had left the garage door partly open to charge a car. We can't get the car inside the garage because mother-in-law has stuff stored in there, so she somehow got it all the way open and found the spare key we hid in the garage to let herself in the house. She had moved some things back into the guest room and was sitting in bed watching TV. Mother-in-law will be at work all day tomorrow while I have the day off. I'm thinking about putting all her stuff outside on the curb or renting a pod to put it in and changing the locks. Would I be the asshole for moving her out? She really doesn't have anywhere to go besides her car, and her stuff might get stolen or messed up. People have seen bears around. Not the asshole, she's a squatter. Don't do a pod because you will pay for it forever. Spend a little extra now and move it to a storage unit, prepay for a month or two and tell her she can figure it out after that. If she comes back, call the police. Breaking in is not magically okay because they're related. She has nowhere to go because of her own choices, and it's no one's responsibility to take care of her. She has a job in transportation, she can figure out a shelter, hotel, or apartment. She should have asked, how does your wife feel about it? Not the asshole, pack her shit, change your locks, and go no contact with her, explaining that she is not welcome to live there anymore and didn't have the permission to move her stuff back in. If she doesn't leave, I'd suggest calling the police. She's essentially a squatter. Not the asshole, she literally broke into your house. That's messed up. A responsible adult would have called and asked. She can stay with other family, friends, a hotel, etc. Move her out, change your locks. She can't just move in when she feels like it. The entitlement. As Queen Charlotte would say, to your mill, how are you not embarrassed? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. She was kicked out. She has no right to move back in. Am I the asshole for not attending Christmas dinner with my family because it's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon? For context, I buy the turkey at 130 pounds, dry brine it for 2 days, cook it, take it to my mom's house and then cook all of the trimmings while I'm there. This involves many hours of work from me, as you can imagine, and I have to wake up at 7 a.m. to get all of the timings right. The problem with this is that my partner and I barely get any time together on Christmas Day. We'd like to wake up, have a coffee, spend time together, open presents, maybe have a light breakfast and then get to cooking dinner at midday. We don't usually eat breakfast or lunch as we intermittent fast, and we're never hungry for a giant plate of roasted food at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, effectively ruining the Christmas meal for us anyway. When children were involved and everyone had to get home early, I compromised, even though I still didn't really understand the whole eating at midday thing. But this year, now the youngest child in attendance is 12, I tried to meet them in the middle and say, could we maybe have it at 3? I've been told that I'm selfish and that I don't compromise and that this is ridiculous. Thus I've decided that my partner and I will go round to see the family in the afternoon but not eat dinner with them. We'll have our own meal at home in the evening, saving me money and allowing us to have the Christmas morning we've not had since we first lived together in 2018. Additionally, I'll be able to experiment with flavor for once, sous vide a turkey crown, use the giblets for the gravy, etc. I also feel it necessary to add that everyone rushes off as soon as they've finished eating anyway. There would usually be 8 people in attendance including us, and except my mom and brother everyone else leaves. I think it wouldn't be so bad if we spent the day together after the meal. Not the asshole. It doesn't sound like your family knows what the word compromise means. You're not willing to compromise by doing exactly what we want. Your family sounds delightful for a holiday. Create a new holiday tradition for yourself. But also, who spends that much on a turkey? Not the asshole. Info. Are all the people rushing off doing so to attend a second Christmas event, for dinner? This is usually what happens at Xmas for couples where both partners have family in the same city. It does seem like this is the most obvious explanation of why your family does lunch and then people leave immediately afterwards. So this could be the explanation of why they cannot compromise on time. It is still unfair to put all the effort of cooking the main dish on the person who doesn't want to have it at lunch and has to start prepping at 7 a.m. on Xmas Day. Drop that rope. If they want you there for midday, they don't get you to make the roast. That's just not reasonable. Not the asshole. The holiday meals in my family growing up were always at 1 p.m. and I loathed it. It wasn't lunch, it ruined dinner, and was hell to get up and get everything ready. Who the fuck wants to do all that when it spoils the whole day and no one feels like moving for the rest of the day? Then there's the mess afterwards and all the leftovers to organize, divide up and pack away. Spend it with your partner. Offer to come by later with a dessert to share. Or visit the next day. You can't be in two places at the same time and you deserve to have your own traditions now. Not the asshole. Sounds like you're being used for a free meal. Especially if people just eat and dash. Does no one else contribute to the dinner? Do your own thing and don't feel guilty. There are 6 other people to pull off that meal. Important question. If everyone leaves right after the meal, who's doing the cleaning up afterwards?